In the second match, we had Lonnie Waliczek defeating David Garber 222 to 190. That earns him the right to go on to the semifinal match against Karl Simonis from Mesa, Arizona, not too far away.
You know, there's a real, Karl bowls a lot of events, a lot of amateur events and megabuck tournaments. However, he does not have a lot of TV experience. He's only bowled one local television show in the Mesa City Masters. Versus Lonnie, who's bowled 10 to 15 shows and team challenge shows mostly. In fact, they won the World Team Challenge in '94 and '96.
Carry it, carry it.
Well, you threw that first shot really well. Solid 10 right out of the gate, but well-executed delivery. Different angle, though, than the rest of the players.
Exactly, and this is who I mentioned earlier on, that I said if lanes continued the way they were, I thought he might have an advantage because he's very direct, and the lanes seem to be very playable that way. Karl mentioned that he used to open up the lane more, and because of the bowling balls and equipment nowadays, it was actually hindering him, so he's been working to try to straighten out his game.
At the 10-pin, changes equipment, converts the spare. Seems like no matter where you're playing on the lane, though, Jan, that you got to make a quality shot or you're not going to get a good result.
Absolutely. It was quality shots all week. The players that are in here, they made good shots. Of course, they got a few breaks here and there, but it took one good shot after another. Execution was the key.
And again, the nice thing about this tournament was that you didn't bowl 240 necessarily and get beat by somebody else that shot 250. Well, the guy next to you bowled 180 and won.
That's a good point, Mike. Great shot by Lonnie. In fact, when I talked to Lonnie, I asked him about this format and what he thought, and he said he likes it better than any of the others because he likes bowling more at a target score. And when you're out here, you get a feel for what the scores are going to be. The first couple rounds were 180-something, then 190-something, then you get into the 2-0s, but he knows that's what he has to do. It's not like you don't know what's going to happen
it's
because
not
of
like
what your
somebody
opponent.
starts off with 5 in a row at you and you're out of the match before you blink hardly.
And that's tough to take.
Especially when you spend, what was the entry fee here, $750? And,
right.
And spend all that money and maybe come from across the country, and before you know it, you're out in the first match. Very good format. The players liked it. Waliczek trying for a quick double. Light leaves the 4-pin. You would think a relatively easy spare.
It should be. He seemed to be an excellent spare shooter, and watching him this week.
As we mentioned, Lonnie from Wichita, Kansas. Still single out there, ladies. So right now, bowling seems to consume most of his passion.
You know, our tournament leader is the only married one. So if anyone's interested, we have 4 single guys out there. However, Lonnie does have a girlfriend, and he wanted to say hello, Amy.
Amy, okay. Is she here, or is she back in Wichita?
I believe she's back there. She was hoping to be here, but was not able to make it.
Okay. Simonis, his first shot on lane 20. Again, he'll be playing just a little bit right of that second arrow. Five-step player, whistles it right in there. Nice shot, well executed.
He doesn't seem to be having any problem with the TV lights out there.
It's like he doesn't know they're there.
Well, you know, he does a lot of breathing. He said he works on breathing techniques. He is actually a silver level coach through Team USA. Actually almost straight up 10, just a little right of 10, as you mentioned. Ball driving nice. He has a nice ball reaction there. A lot of players played in that area, and a lot of them played in as deep as 35, 40, fifth arrow.
So where you were comfortable, huh? I never was comfortable deep in there. I get a nosebleed in there. Trying for a quick double here.
They didn't exactly get all the way to 40, but a couple of guys were throwing it over the gutter cap, so.
Through the nose, leaves the 6-10, breaks up the split. Tries for a spare conversion here in the 3rd frame to keep this match even. Again, changing equipment. And why is he doing that?
He wants to throw a harder surface ball that will not react, not hook as much on the lane, so that he can go straighter at the spare.
At the 6-10, and it backfired him on him this time as it slid by on the right, gave it too much room, and he's open in the 3rd frame.
Looked like he just lost that ball. You could see him shaking his hand when we came back. When you're changing balls, you have a little bit different ball feel. Sometimes you don't get exactly the feel you want.
That's the risk of changing to a harder surface ball.
Sure, there is that risk, and many people, they're using non-resin balls or plastic balls to shoot their spares also. But if you really have to work at those balls to get them to feel similar, because that is important.
Third frame, lane 20. Comes in light, that pin's spinning around, but doesn't hit the 7 pin, so there's no strike to work on. How about you? Do you switch balls to shoot at spares?
I do, and in fact, this year I started shooting almost all of my spares with a different ball. I used to throw my strike ball at a lot of them, but I don't anymore. It's too difficult. Lane conditions are too touchy.
So the idea is you're just trying to go straight at the spare?
Right. It kind of takes the lane conditions out of play. All you have to do is you know where you want the ball to be, and you throw it there. Straight at the spare.
At the 7 pin, how about, do you use still a reactive resin ball at the spare, or do you use a plastic ball or something like that?
I don't use, I use just the old urethane ball.
The old urethane.
Shined up, really highly shined.
Has it worked? Are you shooting spares better this year?
Yes, much better.
A little tip for our viewers out there. Because again, you know, the biggest problem with most amateur bowlers out there is they miss too many spares.
Mm-hmm.
Difference in this match right now is a missed spare. 11 pins. Waliczek has them over Simonis. He's in the 4th frame. Deep inside, through the nose, leaves the 369. And again, it's just a struggle out there for all of our combatants.
You can see as soon as he released it, he knew it wasn't a good shot. That's something, too, that people at home need to work on, that knowing if you've hit your target or not. You know, I oftentimes talk to people, and they really don't know if they've hit what they aimed at. So it's hard to know if you need to make a move, or if it's the lane, or if it was you. That's something real important to learn, to know when you've made a bad shot and when you've made a good shot.
Yeah, and never adjust to a bad shot, right?
Right.
Difficult spare here, right here, the 369. And throws it straight at it, but does convert it. We're through 3.5 frames of the semifinal match. Waliczek leads right now by 8 pins. Can Simonis come back? Well, we'll find out when we come back. Stay tuned.
Tired of waiting hours for one priceless sports moment? Don't bellyache about it. Run over to the phone and order the all-new video collection that goes wall